they might be sitting there going, because what are they doing? Let me tell you why this is important. What are they doing when you say, write down 3 friends?
People will say yes.
They are pre-qualifying every person before they write their name down. I'm not going to write down Susie. I know she's not going to have a party. I'm not going to write down so-and-so. They are prejudging every person because we're not doing that right now. We are just, so this is where the verbal cues are awesome. Who's your best friend? Who was your college roommate? So you got to give them things. You get to relatives. Who are some of your relatives that live nearby? Okay? Who are some that you're closest to relationally? Okay? Who are some relatives that live out of state? Whatever it may be, you're going to be feeding them these cues. I love, even, it's as simple as this. When you get to neighbors, who lives across the street? Who lives on the right? Who lives on the left? Boom, they have 3 neighbors. I mean, but seriously, because they're going, who do I know that's my neighbor? Who do they visit? Doesn't matter that they're not bosom buddies with their neighbor across the street. That's a person they can contact. You know, get to know the neighbors of that, whatever. So I love that. Now, I will tell you, the first time I did this, I got tripped up on the last 2 because my gal was not married and didn't have kids. So we got to spouse and kids, and I thought, crap. Now what? We only have, was it 12 names? I can't add this early. 12 names, 15 names. So Tanya, the same thing happened to her. So she said, it's actually better to have 5 under each category just in case you don't ever get to the bottom. Okay, that way you have 5 friends, 5 neighbors, 5 relatives. I'm assuming everyone has at least those things. Okay? So, but you now have all 18 names filled in with them on the phone. I can't tell you how many times I have sent them off to go do that. They never come back with it done. So you've done that on the phone, and you're writing it down. Okay, now here's the ingenious part. This is where you're also going to learn what is in her mind about that person, and you're going to literally train her and teach her right here that objections are common and easily overcome. Because you're going to say, what I want you to do with this list is I want you to put an A beside everybody who you know will probably book a show. We've done this before. This is not a new concept. B beside those who are maybes, and C's behind, I might really have to do something magical. Okay? Now this was enlightening because, yes?
Could I just add one thing before you move on? The phrase list, I learned something really kind of cool too. How you can even compound that list. So let's say you're thinking about your family or your relatives, okay? So now you might be taking the phrase list and applying it to each person on that list. So, okay, so my relatives, I can think of my sister. Okay, now, who are my sister's friends? Who are my sister's relatives? Who are my, so you're really compounding.
Especially those who say they don't know anybody.
Right.
It's not who you know, who they know. Okay, so it really helps build that list. But don't you think having a list of 18 is so much less overwhelming than I have to call 100 people?
Yeah.
Okay. I had numbed it down to 40 because I thought, well, if hosts have to invite 40 people to get 12 at a show, I thought, well, I'm just going to make them fill out a list of 40. But 18 is still so much more doable because you said your goal is to get 6 bookings from this list of 18 people. So we've got our A, B's, and C's. And who do you think they should call first? I always said A's before. Why do we say A?
Because then they're
Okay, because you think, oh, it's going to boost their confidence, blah, blah, blah. But how does somebody recruit an A? I just ordered paper chef. Guess what you're doing for me? This is, or you have to do this for me. You can recruit a certain family and neighbors by pulling the do this to help me card. But you can't do that for everybody, okay? So if this is how they're starting off and they're getting yeses, what do they think they can do with everybody else? They can't use that verbiage. No way. Their friends are going to be like, no. Okay? So you start with the C's first. And this is the funny thing. When they call the C's, are they expecting a yes? No. So what happens when they get one? Oh my gosh, I got a yes from a C. I'm already. But what happens if they call the A's expecting a yes and they don't get it?
Yeah.
How many of your people have come to you going, my own mother will not have a party for me? Own mother.
Are you kidding me? You have so much on your plate. And my father, I've been in business now almost 5 years, and my father just 2 weeks ago said, your sister's unemployed now like you.
Listen, you're consultants. When their mother will not have a show for them, or their best friend that they knew beyond a shadow of a doubt would have a party says no, it's the same thing. This business is not for me. Okay?
One of the things that words I think actually, and then part of this is talking about expecting no's. And you need to learn to expect no's, you need to learn to accept no's, and you need to learn to respect no's. So
I love that. And one of the visuals, y'all remember the Go for No people? Yeah. This is one thing we reviewed at our recruiting workshop with Kathy Yellis. I drew it on a board. The visual of is you are at point A, and you assume that if I get a yes, I move to the dot that has success on it, right? But if I'm here and I get a no, I assume I now have moved to the dot that says failure. That's not how it works. You're here, the failure dot's here, and the success dot is there. The only way to get there is to go here, and then to go here. That visual is so powerful. People assume no means you've screwed up. You failed. Forget it. You can't do this. So you have to, this sets that expectation.
I don't want to derail you, but
Yeah.
part of calling is if the person says no, you're inviting them to the already scheduled grand opening, correctly?
Yes. Well, and this is the thing. She said you don't invite them until they've said no.
Right.
What are your new consultants doing? They're calling them up and saying, I'm having a kickoff party on March 6th. And by the way, would you like to have a party? What is this response going to be? No. I don't know. I'll see. Let me just come on March 6th and we'll see. Because they have an out. You literally gave them an out to say no, but not really say no. Okay? You have to train them to not invite first. But the fact that they have that grand opening, this is magical because even if they get the no, they still have a way to say, oh, I totally understand. By the way, I'm having a party at my house. Would you like to come? And this person's now what? Elated that she can say, oh yes, of course. Because now she doesn't feel bad that she turned this you know what I mean? And it totally builds the bond and they both hang up feeling good about themselves. It's a win-win. So you've got to give your new consultants the words to invite them to host first. Then invite them to the grand opening, okay? So again, they're gonna call their C's first. They might get a few yeses from this group. They're also gonna make sure their verbiage is better. So how do you get to the verbiage? What do you say? You're gonna have them, it's on page 10 of the Succeed With Us booklet. It has the scripts, which I think they need to be expanded a little bit better. It gives you examples in the book if you haven't seen it, how to invite by phone, by text, by whatever. The texting one is actually better than the phone one. And even Rachel said that too. The text one's a little bit more about them. So you just say, okay, let's give an example of what you might say when you make these calls. Go to page 10 of your Succeed With Us booklet and read what it says there. Okay? I'm sorry, there's one more thing. She says, let me read it to you. And then she has them read it back. Why?
I want them to hear your inflection and your...
Where did we learn that? How much of it is your words and how much is your body language and your voice and all that?
It was on that call.
It was on that call, okay. I mean, what you say is such a small part. And since we're not physically in front of them, we can't count on body language, so it's voice inflection. How you say it. They're going to read the script like a robot, okay? But if they hear you say it with not, I'm chipmunk, excited, but I'm calm, I'm relaxed, and I'm just offering this up. They're going to read it back to you that way. But again, you have to get them to read it back so it comes out of their mouth. How did that feel to you? Is there anything you'd tweak about what you would say? But they've got to have the script. They've got to have what to say to call these people. And they're going to practice with the C group. By the time they get to the B's, they're going to be even better. And now they're going to be like, show. 6 bookings. Now, okay, and then it says, if they say no, ask them if they'd like you to go to the grand opening. Okay, there's that. All right, and the other thing too that she says to train them on is the host program. How many of you know to this day, if you asked your consultants at a meeting, someone stand up and tell me about our host program?
They couldn't tell you.
It's not, they really don't understand the power or the wonderfulness of it. Maybe they've never hosted another show. So here's where you're saying, flip to the catalog in the back. Read to me all of the benefits that a host receives. Because if she knows, because so many of them are afraid of what when they call their friends? Being pushy. Or, I really feel bad that I'm calling them to help me out. You have got to create the vision early on. We do not just have people help us, do we? No, what we do helps them. And if you're painting the picture of everything their friend is going to get, the fun, the friends, the free, all that stuff, then they go, oh, I'm actually just calling to offer an opportunity to them. I'm not calling them to help me out. Okay, so this is where you create that vision. So they got to know what's so exciting about the host program to do that. Okay, so we did that. All right, now here's the genius part. And are we on the next page? Okay, we're on page 6 where it says discuss handling objections. So here's what I love. You've given them the words. And then this kind of goes in with the whole failure thing. You're going to say, okay, so Patty, give me the name of one of your friends that's on your friends list.
Ann.
Ann, okay. So when you call Ann, okay, she's a B, okay? So when you ask her to have a show, and you ask her to tell her all her benefits, what do you think she's going to say? You know, she might say, well, you know what, she's really busy.
Yeah.
She's probably gonna turn me down because she's gonna feel like she's too busy. So what's my response to that? What do you think you will say when she says that to you? Now, what would Lydia do before I heard this training? Lydia would tell her what to say to that host. I love to feed information because you're like, ooh, I have all this information. I just want to hand it to you and you're going to be able to absorb it. 18 years in 30 seconds. No, you're going to literally say, what are you going to say to that person when she says, I'm too busy? And this is what I loved about Rachel, or Kathy actually said it on her call. She said, when they reply back to you, unless it's really bad, you just say, that's perfect. That is excellent. But she just said that to you. When that person says to her, I'm too busy, is she not going to feel more confident about the response? Rather than, okay, you're too busy. I understand, it's all right. Don't worry about it. Just, they kind of freak out because now they don't know what to say. We've never trained them on how to handle the objection from the beginning. I know I haven't. We do a handling objections meeting every 6 months. That's how my team knows about handling objections. We're not training them right from the beginning. By the way, most people are probably going to say they're busy. So are you ready to give them the words? Okay. What's another objection that's common? It's the same thing. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody. Okay, what do you think you're going to say if they say I don't know anybody? Again, if it's not bad, that's perfect. Sounds great. And I know some of you are going to be like, I want to tell them somehow. If it's not that bad, wait, we're empowering them. Now, Kathy does say, if it's really bad, just say, may I share with you a couple words that might work for you, sort of thing. And you might just tweak it. The other thing is, do you see, I don't think it's on this sheet. I have the overcoming booking objections in a file that I will send to you guys. It is something that you can then email to them so they have it in written form. So that if they didn't say it like it's like on the form or maybe they forget, they have a resource, okay? So it's all here. My friends don't have any money. Listen to me. This is going to be a common objection for her. She's not going to know what to say, he or she. They're going to say, this host is going to say to her, my friends don't have any money, or, the economy's bad, blah, blah, blah. They have to know from the beginning of their business that we help with that need. They think that it's a bad thing. I want to share that story, Patty, that we were talking about last night with the guy in the shoes.
Oh.
Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. No, the guy goes, he's a salesman. He goes to a third world country. Those two salesmen.
Two shoe salesmen.
Two shoe salesmen. That he goes to a third world country, and they have no shoes. And the one guy comes back and goes, oh, how did everything go?
Shoes.
Nobody wears shoes. And then
sell any shoes.
And then the other guy goes, oh my God,
shoes!
Right? Yeah.
Well, this is you have to paint this picture to them. Because people have no money. They're not going to buy Pampered Chef. It's people have no money. They need Pampered Chef. Do you get it? They have to have us. What is the easiest way for someone to cut out budget money? Stop going out to eat and make food at home.
Yeah.
They have to have us because they have no money. Does she know this off the top of her head?
No.
This has never crossed her mind. She is so concerned that her friends are going to think it's awful that she's making them spend money. She's not making them. She is giving them an opportunity to make. Who goes out to Macaroni Grill with their family or any chain? What does it cost you?
Oh my gosh.
Family of 5, easy, 70 to 80 bucks. That is no dessert and no drinks. Right. No, $70. If they buy an $88 Magic Baker and cook Sunday after, we used to go out to eat every Sunday because by the time church got out, I'm not going home. gonna cook, so you go out $80 a week. I buy that deep cover baker, I can come home and put together a recipe that sounds like it came from Macaroni Grill, tastes like it came from, and I whip that baby together in 16 minutes. I've saved myself a fortune. So this is where you're handling that objection. If you're handling this with them from the beginning, a light bulb goes off like, oh, I help people. I'm making a difference for people. It's not, I sell Pampered Chef. Yeah, and they're like almost embarrassed,
Yeah.
you know, they don't, you know, they feel like it's almost like this curse. Instead of, oh my gosh, I'm proud. I'm excited. I'm in the grocery store. People ask me and I'm beaming because I know how I can help you. It's a totally different thing than what most new consultants feel.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's handling the objections part.
Can I
Yes.
add? Love also does the vacuum cleaner analogy. So what she says to her consultants is, you know, you've got two kinds of friends. I'm just going to tell you. There's the kind of friends when they think about having an event and inviting friends over, they're like all excited. And they're going to go, I'll get to vacuum the house and get rid of the kids and get rid of the husband. And I'm going to have wine and it'll be great to have my girlfriends over. And they're all excited. And then she said, and you probably have friends who are just not the kind of people to have people over. And they think, oh my God, I'd have to vacuum. I'd have to clean off the dining room table. What would I do with the kids? Where would the husband go? And she said, so when somebody says no to you, just think, oh, she just doesn't like to vacuum.
Love it.
Exactly. So, and so they can't be freaked out about the no, and this is the opportunity to get that. I've always explained it as it's a waitress coming up to the table and say, would you like ketchup? Okay, so you say yes, and do you feel served when I bring you ketchup? You feel like I took care of you, right? You wanted some, I brought you some. Okay, so Patty says no, she doesn't want ketchup. Do I go behind the waitress station and go, that Patty, she doesn't want ketchup? I mean, are you really having a fit back there that she made a choice not to have ketchup? There's no reason to freak out, go in depression, and like you wallow if someone gives you a no. Okay? And then what about this one? I don't offer and ketchup. I go around the whole table and I offer it to you, and I offer it to you, I ignore you. And I think, well, she didn't want any, so I bet she doesn't want any. And I turn around, now how does she feel? She didn't offer me ketchup. And this is the other thing, the whole concept of enough. You know, consultants do not understand why they have to call 18 people to get 4 to 6 bookings. They don't understand that that's normal. Okay? It's normal. Not everyone's going to want ketchup at the table. Okay? So just kind of paint that concept. All right, so now they know they have what? They have their calendar. They know when they're going to work. They know who they're going to call. They know what they're going to say. Are they feeling pretty good right now? Right? And have they set up their website? Have they ordered direct deposit?
Supplies.
Have they made 30 host packs? Have they watched 25 online videos with no guests and hosts? No, okay. They are focused on what? Because guess what? The second, there's 2 calls, you guys, in 72 hours. This is the first initial, and now you're going to schedule call number 2 within 24 to 48 hours of this call. And yes, you have a question? Okay, here's what you're going to say. And again, this is where, do you want to control the conversation or let them say? How many of you are the type of person, if somebody tells you to do something, there's no way in the world you're doing it. But if you decide to do it, you can accomplish the world, right? Big difference. So we're not going to say, once you go out and book those 6 shows, chop, chop. That's what I say in my house all the time. Come on, kids, chop, chop. You're going to say, out of those 6 shows that you want to book, how many would you like to book in the next 48 hours? You're not giving them that, you have to have 6 in 48 hours, call me when it's done. How many out of that, now this is what I loved on Kathy's call. You're gonna have those that go, oh, I'm gonna book all 6. Okay? Then you're gonna have those that go, 6 or 5, and you go, yeah, no. I feel like maybe you're saying that because you maybe think that's what I want to hear. I really want to know, in 48 hours, how many do you feel comfortable booking? 2. 2, that is perfect. In the next 48 hours, I want you to work on getting 2 shows booked. How many of you have new consultants right now that have 2 definite dates on their calendars within 24 hours of signing that agreement? Are you really gonna cry that they're only booking 2 and not 6? That is 2 more than they would have had, right?
And I would guess what's likely is once they have a little success, they probably won't move on.
Again, it's the results. You're giving them results instantly. Not when they get their kit and they've had 60 million, life happens. And how many of you have ever had someone sign, 4 days later they find out they're pregnant? Or, like seriously, anything can happen in the first week of business that they now have no enthusiasm, motivation. They forgot why they even signed up. Now you're like, okay, I know what I want. I know who I have to call. My goal in 24 hours is to just get 2 of them. I'm gonna get 2 on my calendar. Okay, and that leads into call number 2. How are we doing?
When you schedule call number 1, now, don't follow that email or you tell them specifically not to go to the website.
I don't ever send them that welcome email now until after
But
the
they
call.
get the one from him.
They do, but I just tell them, just ignore it. It doesn't exist. It's just saying, hello, nice to have you. Yes, Judy. Yeah, just say, wait, let's focus on this first, and I'll get you set up that.
So how many call number ones have you done first?
I've done 2.
Okay, and did it fall within the 45 minutes to an hour? Or
The first one was an hour, but let me tell you what happened. They were saying how you can do it in person or over the phone. The first one I did was in person. She walks in with a notebook of 75 questions. Who's ever had this happen? And she goes, I'm so glad we're meeting today. Here's what I want to know. And how many of you would start answering her questions?
Yeah,
How do I do a fundraiser?
she did my training.
How do I blah, blah, blah? And how many of you seriously would go, oh yeah, we have a great fundraiser program. You're gonna earn 10%. If it's under $600, 15. Why are we sharing this? They're not gonna remember when they actually need it. So it was so hard. I had to tell her no less than 5 times. Let's focus on what's most important today. My goal is to help you get off to the best start. All of this is gonna come. And I'm like, you know what? I love that you're a questions person. Because I love answering detailed questions. I would love to answer every one of these for you right now. But I'm not doing you a service by starting to answer these questions. And she kept going to it. I'd talk about something, she'd go, oh yeah, I have that on my list. Oh, so when you do this, how do I do this? And she's talking about vendor events and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wait, let's go back to the Frank's list. So who are we gonna talk to? It was hard, but you know what also was hard? I couldn't really follow my notes and the script because I was in front of her. Normally I love being in an interview because I love having them there. I know they're with me. I'm watching their body language. But because I had not practiced this, it was kind of like, okay, where do I go next? When I did the one on the phone, I literally just kind of went through my notes and followed along, and the flow was 100% better. Plus, she did not come with 100 questions. So, but like I said, so you have to go with the flow. Yeah. Okay? All right, so let's keep moving because I know we're getting close on time. All right, so how many of you want to book? She says, I want to book 2. Okay? Make sure she has a notebook. She's going to keep a call log. Everyone she's called. Write down the date, their name, their phone number, and the results of the call. And then I'm going to say, we're going to touch base within next 48 hours for a 15 to 20 minute call. Now we're doing just kind of a thing. What time would be good for you? Okay? So you send her off, and now, are we on a page now? Okay, now we're on call number 2. First thing you're gonna do, discuss the results from call number 1. So, Paula, how did it go? How'd your call go? Tell me what's been going on with you the last 24 hours. And she's gonna either say, I got my 2 bookings, I didn't, you're gonna be celebrating, or what's gonna happen?
Not good.
I couldn't get anybody on the phone. You know what, Paula? I am so proud of you for making those calls. I know it seems a little weird, like the phone's kind of heavy. You made the call. They haven't had maybe a chance to get back to you, and you're literally encouraging her no matter what happened. Okay? And then you're going to say, you know what? What do you think about taking the next 48 hours? You think you might be able to reach a couple more people, and we can try and get those 2 shows on the calendar for you? No big deal. Okay? You're not letting her have it. You don't want her to feel bad, but you're going to make a next follow-up goal. I'm just telling you, I think it's only going to happen once, okay? So I still have not done call number 2 with one of my people. She's disappeared now. I don't know what happened. But the other one, she called me back. The one with the 75 questions. She's still trying to answer those. But I called the other girl back, and she did book 2, okay? They ended up being people from her A's because she said, I was too scared to call the Z's. And I said, well, how did you feel? And we kind of just went over the scripts again, okay? What do you think about booking 2 more in the next 48 hours. How do you, and we're in the process and we're just still working. And then I came to Michigan. Okay, all right, so now you're also gonna say celebrate what went well, fix what didn't. And now here, again, we've got shows, we've got people. What's the next thing we really wanna present to her early on? Recruiting, okay? But this is the thing, it's not even recruiting. You don't even call it that, okay? And I love that Kathy calls it a 15-minute recruiting lesson. They don't know what that is, but that's what they're getting. But this is where you're gonna have the materials like the Grow With Us thing, which again is electronic. Can send that to you. Whoa, let me go way down. Okay. And this is the thing, okay, and of course, all the words you heard from Belinda about starting with a friend. I mean, that actually absolutely falls in line with everything that was said here. But the thing of it is it doesn't make it nervous. You're not going to make it complicated. It's not War and Peace she has on here. 15 minutes. Okay, so you book 2 shows. Here's where you go through the Grow With Us. And the Grow With Us, all you're showing them are the 3 images of the little bubbles of senior consultant, team leader, and director. Now, does anybody have that brochure? I meant to bring it. We grab it from real quick. You're not going over how they achieve any of these titles. You're not saying you have to have 2 people when you're a team leader. You have to have 750 in sales. Again, it's going over the head. I don't care. Means nothing. This is what you're doing. This is what I love about this brochure. Y'all may not have even noticed it's here. Okay, so you're going to say, I just want you to look at the first 3 levels where you can get a pay raise and a promotion with Pampered Chef. I'm like, how long have you been at your job? How long did it take you to get a pay raise or a promotion? And usually they're like, I still haven't got one. Okay, or it's been 7 years or whatever. I'm like, you would not believe how easy it is to get a pay raise and a promotion with Pampered Chef. And I said, I just want you to see, under the senior consultant level, how much more commission does a senior consultant earn? And it has it right here. She's reading this to you. 6.3% more. Okay, and how about a team leader? How much more commission does that person generally earn over what they're already doing? Okay, 14.5%. Okay, what about director? Go down to the next level. 48% more. So you don't flinch. You don't make them sign anything. You just say, so Susan, would you like a 6.3% increase, 14.5, or a 48% increase on your commission just for doing what you were planning to do anyway? What are they all going to say?
48.
48%. Okay, and here's where you're going to pull out the fast track flyer. Again, I wasn't really going over fast track with somebody. I thought it's too soon to talk about them. I was doing it in new consultant training a month later. But what's happened to their 90 days? Third over. So here's where you're pulling out the fast track flyer. Okay, by the way, I just want to let you know, you have the opportunity to earn an extra $500, $1,000, or $2,000. Is that something that would benefit your family? No one says no to that question. Okay, so you're reviewing that flyer together. So this is how simple, just like we did the Frank's list of who to call. I love these words. I want you to write down 4 names, okay? I want you to write down, go ahead and do this now because this is one of your activities. Yep, there's going to be a call to action at the end of this session for you. And this is what I'm going to have all my consultants do as well. And listen, when I do this at my meeting, they're going home with their list of 18, and I'm going to have each of them tell me how many shows they're going to book in the next 48 hours. How many are you planning to book? And then we're going to do, on the team page, they're going to post how many shows they booked, and if they've met their goal, I won't tell them, but they'll get a little goodie from me, okay? So we're literally going to treat them like they're brand spanking new. I want 18 new names, 6 new shows in 30 days.
That's perfect. Oh my God.
How many of you would just freak out if all your entire team did 6 shows in the next 30 days? You'd be doing a dance, okay? But now we're going to do the same activity for recruiting. We're going to help them figure out their first 4 people to ask. The first question is this. I'm just curious, Susan, who's in the same situation as you? Stay-at-home mom, you got a couple of kids at home, you're looking, maybe for just a night out of the house. Again, verbal cues of who to write down, not who do you think would like to sell Pampered Chef with you? It's a big difference, okay? So who's in your same situation? Who's working full-time and totally stressed out at their job? Whatever she may have shared with you. That's the first question. Second, who has been affected by the economy? Everybody knows somebody who's either been laid off or their spouse has been laid off, right? Y'all have somebody come to your head, or who's just, maybe they're getting ready to lose their house. Who knows, okay? Third one, who's somebody you would love to work with? this is right in line with what Belinda shared yesterday. Who would you just totally love to start your business with? And then number 4, who do you know that would like to quit a full-time job or who needs more flexibility? Okay, so you're having them come up with a list of 4 names. So that goes for each of you. Do you all have 4 people that fit those things? Jot them down. You're going to have your team members do the same thing at the meeting. Okay, so now we're going to do an example. Okay, so Patty, tell me the name of one person on your list. It's the same thing. She says Susan. Okay, so why do you think they would be good at Pampered Chef? You're going to ask each of these people 2 questions. When she calls, this is what we want in her mind, okay? So Susan's on your list. Why do you think she would be great at Pampered Chef? Oh, she's a people person. She loves to cook. She's really, great with blah, blah, blah. She's telling you about this person, right? All right, the second thing you're going to say is, why would Pampered Chef be a benefit to them? What do you think they might get out of doing something like this? Oh my gosh, they just remodeled their kitchen. They would probably go crazy, have all these products in their kitchen, or I know that she wants to quit her full-time job to be a stay-at-home mom. Okay, those 2 questions. Why am I doing this? Is this not exactly what she's going to repeat to this person that she calls?
Yes.
I literally gave her script. Okay? Because she's going to call up her friend and say, Paula, does the whole thing with the Pampered Chef, and she's going to say, you know what, I thought of you. I just started this Pampered Chef business, and I thought of you because, Paula, you're just such an awesome people person. You have so many contacts, you're involved in so many things, and everybody loves you, everywhere you go. And I thought of you because, Pampered Chef gives you the opportunity to have that atmosphere as many nights as you want a week, and you would get to earn extra money. I'm just curious, have you ever thought about doing something like this? Or what do you think about getting together with the gal that's helping me get started? Okay, she's literally repeating to you the same questions you asked her. Is that hard, you guys think?
No. Oh my
Isn't
God.
that such easy words? I was listening to this call going, it's that simple for them to call friends? Okay, it literally gives them the words. So now you have 4 people on your list. I want each of you to think about why they would be good at Pampered Chef and how Pampered Chef would benefit them. And that's literally what you are going to say to those people when you call them. And it's the same sort of thing. You're going to role play. Again, and this is the same thing as the bookings, you guys. So what if you call Susan and she says, I just don't know anybody? What do you think you're going to say? Y'all get how easy and this just flows. She's going to say the exact same thing to that objection as she did for bookings. That I don't know anybody. Whatever she said for that is, so she literally light bulbs go off because it's like, oh, this is not that hard. Okay, I'm going to get objections. I know what to say. So you're going to role play a little bit. Oh, and then what we did at Tic Toc is we practiced it. So that's what you're going to be doing over the phone with her. So let's say I'm Susan. You go ahead and call me, Patty, and I will just go ahead and tell me exactly what you just said to me. And she's going to say to me what we just rehearsed. And you're going to hear what? Her tone,
Right.
her words, her whatever, okay? And you're going to be able to say, and you just kind of tweak or whatever, that sort of thing. But don't you think this is going to make it so much easier on them? Right? They're not going to feel overwhelmed. They're going to have the words. They're going to know what to do.
Good.
All right. I think. Oh, okay. So that is basically takes you then to the most important 72 hours. Where do you go from here? Now we can start feeding them some of those things they just need to know.